Hey, what's up you guys? After Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more Charmed. This is Season 3, Episode 16, titled What to Expect When You're Expecting. I was meant to react to this yesterday, just wasn't feeling up for it. I had a day. I went to get my car serviced for my 18-month service, and that's supposed to be $175. Anyways, the sticker on my car says April, right? And we rung up very early and to my first service or something like that, and they said we had 3 months. 3 months. So we go in and they're like, sorry, you missed your 18 months. You need to do the 24-month one, which is $359. I wasn't ready to do that. So we had an argument with them for an hour. But the thing is, how could I possibly have missed it? I'm just saying, literally, it's June. April, June, no, April, May, June. That's 2 months after. But you could maybe say it's 3 months, but it's still June. So yeah, I was really frustrated with that. And then when I was driving home, I had 3 people beep at me for the most ridiculous reasons. I was, so what we did, sorry, this is just a really long conversation about not Charmed, but to be real, it's probably more interesting than Charmed. We both drove up there, and me and my dad, and Dad drove us back in his car while my car was getting serviced, right? So when I went up and got my car, I have an issue with my car where my phone doesn't sometimes connect, and so we had to deal with that. And so my phone wasn't connecting, and so I didn't have a GPS, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm terrible at directions, so I had to purposefully try and follow my dad home, and he turned into there was 2 lanes, right? And then it was another lane was opening up like this, right? And that's the turning lane, right? And so my dad went in there, and then I went to go in there, and the car behind me beeped at me as though I was merging when I shouldn't merge, as though he was behind me. The lane didn't exist before me. Why were you beeping at me? And then the same kind of thing happened again, but so my dad turned into another lane that was merging, and a car sped up in front of me, so I didn't get to go into that lane, so I just had to go keep going straight, and I got lost on the way home because I lost my dad at that point. And I didn't have a GPS, so that was an experience. Yeah, and by the time I got home, I just could not be bothered doing anything. Honestly, that's all that there was. Anyways, let's look at last week's comments, shall we? If there is any comments, it's Charmed. Alright, so I have 1 comment. Thank you. How could he steal a kid's soul like that? How is that okay? I'm not a big fan of the whole Harry becoming human thing. To be fair, though they're not really using him anymore. That's exactly what I said. That is literally what I said. The girls have a way to portal now, and I can't even remember the last time he healed someone. This is what I said! Thank you, I'm not alone! Okay. The Charmed ones... But still, the Charmed ones should have a white lighter. I hate the fact that they killed off all the white lighters in the first season. Yeah, I really thought that they were going to make new ones, but... I agree with you that Ruby would be a better character if they just used her more, but I have to admit I'm not a big fan of her and Mel. Well, to be fair, you're probably not a big fan of her and Mel because the writing sucks and they don't give her any screen time for you to actually like her. I don't know why, but I've never felt Mel has had any chemistry with any of her girlfriends. I mean, to be fair, it could be based on the fact that the actress is, to my knowledge, not actually queer. I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't have to be queer to have, like, chemistry with, you know, another female or another male character when you're male, but, I mean, there's a very good chance, well, there's a chance that maybe she just doesn't feel entirely comfortable with playing a character that is part of the LGBTQ community. I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe she is part of it. I have no idea. These are just ideas that I have, thoughts maybe. I can't help but feel like the only, like, decent, like, honestly, I have no hate towards the actresses. I think they're fine. But that's kind of the problem that's kind of a problem. I don't think that any of the actresses are particularly great at acting. They're just kind of mediocre. Like, nobody has had a performance in this show that has made me go, wow, I really believe that. I think probably the best actress in the show is probably Mace's actress. I don't think that they've really been given material to even try and do something, like, really wow. That's why I feel like they're all kind of mediocre. Like, there are plenty of other shows where they've had a moment where an actor that maybe would have been mediocre has got to really stretch their acting chops, you know? A lot of people really didn't think that Nina Dobrev in The Vampire Diaries was very good at acting. But when they gave her good scenes, like when they gave her, like, some good shit, I believed it, you know? I really don't think that any of the actresses or actors on the show have really been given, like, a good acting scene. So I feel like they're all just kind of mediocre. And that could, you know, play a part of the having chemistry with another actor and stuff, because if you can't make someone believe that you're doing a certain thing on screen, how are you going to believe that these two characters like each other? So I understand where you're coming from there. I'm playing around with a little necklacey thing. I had a fidget cube and I don't know where it went. I don't know if it's bad acting or bad casting, but the only person I feel like she's had chemistry with is Abby, and I'm not a real big fan of Abby. I thought this episode was pretty solid, but there were parts that bugged me. For instance, 1 minute Abby's talking about how she had to kill Maggie because she was infected by the Whispering Evil, and then the next minute she lamely doesn't even try to defend herself against Macy's attack. Exactly. That was really pathetic. And dies. it would have made a lot more sense if she at least tried to defend herself. Bad writing. I don't know why you're surprised. That was really... like... You're right, but also... Of course, it's going to be bad writing. This show's a mess. And don't get me wrong, I would really like for the show not to be a mess. I have a theory that it's a demon about the whispering evil, but I don't know if you watched the promos for next episode, so I don't want to give away any spoilers. I will write in next episode unless they disprove my theory. Great reaction. See you next week. Alright. Well, I'm intrigued. You've gotten me very intrigued. I want to know what your theory is. But yes, no, I don't like to watch promos for the next episodes. Because, you know, it can ruin the reacting experience. In saying that, I don't know if I really care that much about being spoiled on the show at this point. Considering I'm, like, stopping the show at the end of the season. Anyways, let's get into it. I feel like that's a bit of a... I feel like if he was threatening enough, he would be going around right now just scratching people. And you might be like, you know, maybe he wants to be more discreet about it. But I'm gonna talk about an anime right now. So there's an anime... I swear this makes sense once I'm done explaining it. There's an anime called Demon Slayer, and the demons are created by the, like, kind of... I actually don't remember his name. He looks like Michael Jackson, so I always just call him Michael Jackson, right? And basically, like, he, like, walks through, like, this crowd of people and, like, just randomly scratches someone and infects them. And that's a way that you can do that. Like, you can still be discreet about it and, you know, infect all these people. But he's just walking around, like, why did he choose to infect people at safe space? You would think that you would want to infect everybody that you come into contact with, almost. Anyway, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm a little confused on the whole Waverly, Abigail, Mel situation. That was a bit confusing for me. Like, Abigail called it her child, but I think she was just saying it in a smug way. But then also they said something about going after the grandchild. But I'm confused. Somebody, I missed something, I'm sure. Somebody please explain. I think it was obvious that it was Jordan as well from the beginning. Like, they did the classic, oh, he wasn't in the room when all this stuff happened, so it was kind of obvious that it was him. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.